So you know how it is at the weekends, you have to do these little jobs. So this was a thermostat housing change. Easy to do, 7mm socket for undoing the Jubilee clip, which has been put on there. Somebody's changed the top hose, which is rather considerate of them. However, I used an 8mm socket for the Torx bolts or set screws that hold the thermostat housing in place. Yep, so that's quite an easy one actually, just 2 sockets to use. However, I lost one. Luckily, I had another set here, and yeah, generally I do duplicate stuff, but it's really annoying when you lose one socket. The other factor here is these boxes, if you knock them over because they don't have a positive lock, you could end up losing a lot of tools in the engine bay. The best way, of course, is to have socket rails to lock your tools, your sockets into place, as I've got here. And you can see here I've got a 1/4 inch deep set, which I will show you pretty shortly. But yeah, they lock into place, click, and they're done. That's as long as the clips are not worn. Anyway, I went off for a cigarette lighter to fit in the vehicle, and I ended up buying some tools. You know how it is, you do a little trolley dash, and I found some very reasonably priced tools. Was going to buy one of these off Amazon, and lucky I didn't because I got it cheaper. Plus, you know how we do when we want things. Yeah, some socket rails, $3.99, not bad at all. And the clips always come in handy, and so do the rails. And I'll just show you this. These are actually Blue Spot. Okay, they're not bad tools actually. They're quite economical with a lifetime guarantee. Yeah, I don't know how you guarantee those rails and clips, but this was the purchase of the day. Okay, this is £7.99. There's 11 sockets in here, 11-piece 1/4 inch metric deep socket set. Yeah, and it's got an 8mm on it. Yes, 8mm. Okay. So yes, I know I could have just found an 8mm socket, but the whole set was there. And of course I got my cigarette lighter. Now, Vauxhall, they have a cigarette lighter in the lower console. And I got one of these cheap ones. Yes, very cheap. And it's good enough for what I want to do, because instead of running 12 volts and a cigarette lighter element in it, I'm going to put a USB adapter in there. Okay, so that's quite a simple kit which screws into place. However, the connectors here, I've got 2 relay connectors which don't work. They're for some type of switching for the vehicle, which are not fitted. And then we have a this is for lighting for the cigarette lighter, and then that is positive and negative, or positive and ground, however you want to look at it. But in their wisdom, and yeah, that slipped because I'm holding a camera in the other hand, their wisdom, yeah, rip out connectors, bullet connectors. Who the hell uses bullet connectors these days, unless you have an ancient Land Rover? However, these all need cutting off and sorting, which I'm going to do. I don't have the right connectors, and there's one more metric female connector. So anyway, back at work. Blue Spot, I'm not a stranger to Blue Spot. I've got a magnetic bar which I'm going to fit on the pegboard next to my toolbox there. I think that'll look quite nice. These are only for temporary fixings because I don't leave tools out at night. However, what I've got now to do, and this is a good find actually, because I've got a few sockets here, boom, and I'm going to put that on the rail. Okay, so you can see my deep 1/4 inch sockets which are lacking. And yes, I've got a couple of tools missing as well. It's just part and parcel of this trade. Things either get broken or they go missing. You've got to replace them. They are consumables, not collectibles. So this is the rather sorry state of my 1/4 inch drive deep sockets. And yes, I do use them mainly for Jubilee clips. So yes, that's it. The sockets are going on here. And this is a Brahma, because I'm only going to probably use 3 of the sockets out of this. So they will stay unused and shiny. And to be honest with you, if you're doing stuff that's lightweight, then that's pretty good. So there's the 8mm, and I've spaced it just a little bit apart so I can find it. The rest of these may be redundant, may be used in a push. However, there's the 8mm. Okay. Now the old sockets that I have are brittle. I got those when I first started actually. It's 20 years old. They're still okay, but they're an incomplete set. They used to be a full set. However, as I said, things get lost, broken, or even stolen. So I'm lacking, yeah, and there's a couple of snap-on ones. Now the snap-on ones are very expensive, so they're prohibitive. Spare ones will go in the spare socket box there, just in case, and it's always just in case. You can always dive in and get one. So This rail here, yep, it's always needed to build up on socket set collections, or for do them for a breakdown box, or for the even for the fly project. Yep, so as you can see here, I'm taking the clips off, which they do wear out. They do expand as you're taking sockets on and off all the time. They will get worn out, so it's always handy to have extra rails and extra clips, yeah, and you can buy the clips separately. So yeah, that's actually not a bad deal. And I've got these. I don't know if you know what these are. These are expanding clips for putting things like socket wrenches in onto boards and what have you. Bit fiddly, and they all seem to get clanged up together, don't they? But I've got an assorted size, and I might put a couple on here. Yeah. Some people will make a tall board up which will have sockets and wrenches and stuff like that on. I'm not that type of person. I like all my sockets in one place. I'm sure that you are the same sort of person. It's good to be orderly. You know where everything is in an instant. And that's my philosophy. Okay, so the brake gauges, this is more for professional use, or if you have an argument with MOT tester. Okay, red is danger. Yellow means okay, and green is very good, serviceable. Okay, now I got these for one specific purpose. Okay, now these are all marked, and I do have a problem with estimating the depths of brake shoes. Okay, so maximum's 12 mil on there, and I've got exactly the right depth, right to the wear limit on brake drum shoes, which are for a trailer system. Okay, so taking you into my world for a little while, here are some trailer brakes. Okay, and the maximum depth is to the wear limit is about 12 mil, 11, 12 mil. Okay, the only real accurate way is to take them off and measure them with a depth gauge, yeah, unless you estimate them through the backing plates. Okay, so this works out to be 11 mil, and brake pads for HGVs are 20 mil thick. Okay, and you have a wear limit of about 6 mil, which is where the rivets is. So once you get to the wear limit, that is it. Okay, so you can see that this is my world, and this is only measuring it like this when you have the hubs off, which is not worth it. Like I say, you have to estimate it until I got this tool. Okay, these are no good for pads that are in situ. You need to have the wheel off so you can measure the pad thickness, which is good if you're having to record accurately what's going on. But with these, I can put them through the inspection hole and measure right down to the wear limit. Okay, so that gives me a damn good gauge of what's going on. Yes, you can do them use these on cars, but as I said, you have to take the wheels off to be able to measure it. And usually on a service, you will do that, won't you? These are good. Yes, this is the score of the month. They are made of steel as well. Okay, they're not plastic. They look plastic, but they are painted steel. I measured them and they are accurate. So if you want to up your game and make sure your brake recordings are all well and good, or you're unsure about how thick your linings are, you can use one of these. Okay, you can get it off the internet or a Motor Factors that supply Blue Spot. Okay. And I did, while I was doing the usual food shopping, managed to buy a Parkside Hole Saw, and it's got 4 pieces in it, 32 to 54 mil, which these are consumables. You chuck them away once they're broken. So yeah, all good.